Hi, can everybody hear me? Hi there. Okay. Hi, William. Nice to see you. I mean, nice for you to be here. Cool. Okay, it seems like the app is working today. I hope it stays this way, because last time it wasn't fun. Okay. So, hi everybody. Good morning or good evening. It's 6:30 in the morning here in Tyumen. Okay. How do I flip the camera? Okay, we are. Oh, hi, Kat. Yeah. So we are in Tyumen, my hometown, and I managed to get rid of that strip on the side. So we are lucky. We are today at the central square, and we will walk some other streets of Tyumen, and I'll hopefully tell you something new about the city. We'll definitely see new places. We will visit the places we haven't been before. Um, and this is the central square. It used to be called Market Square because, in fact, this place used to be on the outskirts of the city. Um, the center of the city used to be by that bridge where I took you last time. And this place was the place where all the merchants came. And, finally, in the end of the 19th century, the city told everybody who wanted to sell stuff to come here and to have a market square. So then in the Soviet times, they erected this monument. This is the biggest monument of Lenin in the USSR, and we have it here. Yes, it's a statue of Lenin, and we actually had another statue of Lenin in the other place, but it was taken down um, during the reconstruction of. It was in the amusement park, in the city amusement park, um, and they took it down. So now we only have one Lenin. Because when I was a teenager, when you said, "Oh, let's meet by Lenin," you had to really ask, "Oh, which Lenin? The Lenin here or the Lenin there?" That was a bit confusing. And of course, on this square, there are councils for Tyumen Oblast or the Tyumen region. And then this is I don't know. I have a difficulty translating this. It says the House of Advice. Well, I don't know, but I guess it's some other council, and it's also for the Tumen region. Um, During the 90s or the early 2000s, this square used to be the meetup place for all kinds of um, informal all kinds of groups of people, I would say, like subcultures, like goths or um, the subgroups, the subgroups of people. Right now, it's just a place for everybody to come and to hang out and to just to spend time with the family. A lot of kids come here during the day. They ride their rollerblades and have have a good time here, and people walk their dogs, so it's quite nice. Now, my husband pointed out, what is Lenin doing? Like, if you look at him this way, I don't know. Um, so yeah, we are going to walk today the street that's called Водопроводная street, or it's the water pipe street. And it was called this way actually because in my hometown there was the first plumbing in the city uh, in in Siberia. So they wanted to commemorate an event and to name the street this way. Oh, and I need to take the crosswalks because even though it's super early, it's good to take crosswalks. And here you can see that that's a pretty interesting building. They have the stars on the top of the columns, which is probably communist stars, and then they have some heraldics of the Tyumen region. And surrounding this square are some older cities in older houses in Tyumen. Um, there are some wooden houses that are here, and um, in my hometown, the oldest houses are probably some churches or some wooden houses. But these houses are also considered to be old, and oh hi, hi Satyam, and these ones are called Stalinkas. Stalinka is a type of house that was built during the era of Stalin, and in the 90s, they were considered the best houses. So here, this is also some governmental, I think it's the police building, and there is a police car over there. So I'll just keep going. uh, yeah, let's just keep going. So yeah, this is a typical Stalinka. It was built in 1956. And what is typical of it is the fact that, the inside basically, not, I mean, the outside as well. They're called um, neoclassical, or it's Stalin's Empire. The time here is, well, when I started the tour was 6:30. Now it's about 6:40 a.m. and it's crazy. I mean, the day is getting shorter, but not, I mean, not really right now because still our sunrise is at 3:40 or 3:50 a.m. and that's because we here don't switch to winter time or summertime anymore. So yeah, that's why we have this crazy sunrise, and everybody needs blackout skirts. But unfortunately, we don't have them, so I have trouble. I have trouble sleeping in the morning sometimes. So in these houses, I was telling you the Stalinka house, the apartments were pretty big. They didn't have, right now, the most popular apartment that you can buy is called a studio apartment. And that's where you basically have everything in one room. except for the shower and the toilet. It's not even a separate bedroom, and that's the most popular apartment that you can buy. So in those houses, you did not have such apartments. In fact, most of the time, you had the apartments that were, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom apartments, and also they're not tall, they're pretty spacious, and that's, there are not too many people living in them, so they wanted to people to have neighbors and to know about their neighbors. Okay, I think I'll cross because there are no cars here. So going going down this street, uh, this was a building of a university, and somewhere here used to be the headquarters um, for an oil and gas company that's called Schlumberger. I don't know if they're still here. I think they probably are, but this is part of the Russian wood carving. It's so pretty. Studios are extremely popular. Why? Because that way you can live separately, and if you want to live in a spacious apartment, I think everywhere you have to pay. Whereas the people, the people are sleeping probably. I hope so. That's no, there's no apocalypse here. No. Yeah, I choose to walk in early in, well, first of all, it's Sunday. Second, it's morning. So I choose to walk early because I don't want to, I mean, it's better for me, better for everybody, I think. Yeah. So let's have a look over here. These are also some wood carving, very pretty. This house belonged to a man whose name was Mishuntin, and he was a merchant, like most of the rich people in Tyumen. And so this was his main house, this house, and that wooden house was his uh, guest house, I guess. So he lived in a brick house. And now most of these houses that are protected by the government are maybe restaurants, or there's some facilities for everybody. There are places, there are some places uh, that host, some cultural events. So something like this. Um, Yeah, studios are popular because you can live privately, and that's what everybody wants right now, to live by themselves. Um, and you don't have to spend too much money, so that's why. And I mean, if you buy a bigger apartment, it is cheaper to pay for a square meter, of course. But yeah. Also, I've noticed there were quite a few people uh, who didn't go to bed yet. They were celebrating their graduation or something, because it's the time when people graduate. I think they have already graduated school, but now they are graduating university, or maybe just partying, something like this. So another beautiful house over here. It's not renovated. But you see that it has the feel of time. I really like these houses because they. Oh, okay, I lost it again. From Tyumen people. We're going to see some other houses today that are not very pretty, and that's because I want to show you the other route. Okay, so let's just walk. Yeah, I also frame out the people. Yeah. So this is one of the prestigious areas, and there are some newer places, and the prices of apartments here are ridiculous. I think it's. Oi. I'm thinking how to convert it, and I'm having a hard time. Oh, okay. So another another type of houses that we have here, they're called Khrushchevka's house, Khrushchevka, and that's to commemorate when Khrushchev was uh, ruling the country, basically. And those houses are not very desirable because they're mostly very, very small. I mean, these apartments are just tiny, and they are in five-storied houses. And five-storied houses, like low houses, never have an elevator. So it's quite difficult to go up the stairs all the time. And in Stalinkas, it's the same. Normally, they don't have elevators. And some famous buildings in Moscow are like the building of the Moscow University is a Stalinka. Yeah, so I came today to see some of these beauties. So this houses, this wooden houses coexist with modern houses, and I don't think it's a very good solution because um, the people build very tall houses and modern houses next to them, and they kind of ruin the atmosphere for it. So this one over here on the balcony, I think it used to be a restaurant, but now they're renovating it again. So here, and that's the way the traditional Russian house is made with such logs. My grandparents used to live in a house that was similar. It wasn't two-storied, but it was just one-storied house. Sorry, sorry, the sun is probably in our face right now. Yeah, you see some modern buildings, and they're quite popular. Nobody lives in wooden houses anymore right now. It's at least not in the center of the city. In the area where I live, we have a little village. Well, um, a little village where people just live in little cottages, and then when you're walking, down those streets, especially in the winter, it feels like you came to a Russian village, which is really nice feeling. And some of these people don't have central heating, so they have to heat their houses with um, with a Russian stove and use the woods. Okay, I am very happy that today my reception is good because last time I was doing an excursion into Volsk, it was off completely. Now I don't know what it was. Maybe they fixed the issue with the streaming app. And this house looks a little abandoned, so it's quite usual for a house to have such. Yeah, can you believe when you look here that you are actually in the center of the city? This house also belonged to a merchant and it's part of a bigger house complex. Maybe I think this probably was the main house, and then there were other houses, maybe for servants, maybe for help. And it was built in the end of the 19th, the beginning of the 20th century. Yes, the reception is so much better today. And that was, this house was the second house of that residence. Also protected. All of those houses are protected. I love that window over there. It's really nice. And here we have some graffiti. And in my hometown, as you maybe maybe if you've been to some walks with me, it's not like we are very big on graffitis, or at least anything that's remotely pretty. And it's quite surprising. I like it. I like the color scheme. It's pretty here. It looks good. So today I will go in to show you, hopefully, if it's open, a a monastery for women, and another secret lookout. But it all really depends whether the gate will be open or not so early in the morning. And this ugliness that you see in front is a typical house that was built in the late 80s, early 90s. And I lived all my life in a house like this on the fourth floor. It looked very similar. It's made with concrete panels. And recently, my parents started renovating the house. My mom started renovating the house, and we found out um, that there were like when they were finishing it, there was a shortage of materials, and they had to use different alternatives to build it. Sometimes things were uneven. Sometimes they had to use wood. So it was quite an interesting discovery right now that we have done it. Another thing to mention is something really sad because we used to have a lot more um, little wooden houses protected by the government or protected by some associations. And oftentimes, when um, a big developer wanted to build somewhere in the center, they needed the land. So they would ask to sell, and of course, they couldn't get what they wanted because the houses were protected. But it would have been okay if that house suddenly burnt. So, as far as I know, some of these little houses were destroyed by fires, and nobody knows the cause of those fires. But the big developers ended up getting what they wanted, which is, of course, very, very sad for me. Um, this is a very interesting house, and it's now a cafe, a coffee place. But notice if you look at this wooden carving, I see an eye over there, and I'm wondering what it means. I'm wondering if this house belonged to a woman, and if it means that she was part of the Mason Lodge, maybe, or something like that. I was trying to find information about her, but unfortunately, um, there isn't a lot of information available on the people who these houses belong to, only the main people. So I'm wondering if I'm right over here. But this is a coffee shop, and it's quite good, and it's called The Forest. So it's thematic, I would say. All right. Oh, okay. That's the red light. I'll stay for a bit. Oh yeah, the other people who are not asleep right now are the grandmothers, the little babushkas, the ladies who go to dacha, and dacha is a country house. Well, it's not in the country. It depends. My family has a dacha, and our dacha is in the city, within the city limits. So it's very good for us because we don't need to take any special buses to go there. You can just take a city bus, and you can go to dacha anywhere. But if your dacha is far, then there is a particular schedule. And oh yeah, so this house is the Khrushchevka house, is not the nice house, and people here lived cramped. So we saw the neoclassical Stalinka buildings, the Stalin's Empire, and these ones you see they look very different. And this one looks pretty good, I have to say, because sometimes they're all just very, very run down, and they all have these balconies that I don't know what these balconies are made of. Not, you know, just the reality of life for some people. Yeah, so if your dacha is far, then you have to, and you don't have a car, then you have to take a special bus. And in order to take a special bus, you have to, um, well, there are a lot of people who want to do it, so you have to queue. And some Russian ladies like queuing, or I don't know, and they just like to get up early in the morning and go. This is um, another gem is hiding from us. It's it's a house that was built by Ushakov, also a merchant, but he owned it for a very short time. Then I know he resold it to a person, and then that person resold it to another person. But this is just very pretty, and it's quite unique to have this second floor. And oh yeah, one of the peculiarities of my hometown, you see, this was the first floor, and it's because Tyumen is located on the marshland, and the land isn't very stable. So it's not a two-storied house, it's a three-storied house. The name Tyumen comes from a Turk word which means lowland, or it also maybe means 10,000, which is to describe 10,000 people 10,000 warriors who met with the Russian conquistadors, if you may if you may say this. So this is the last street to go to the river, and this little building, it's a place where orphans can live, and they they get educated on religion, and it's just a place for them. Also, it's a place for older women who can't take care of themselves and who don't have anybody to take care of them. So, and over here, there's probably on the right one of the most expensive places in my hometown to buy a house. Specifically, if you want to live on the higher floor, because you will have a view of the river and a view of the monastery, which of course is a lot what a lot of people want. Let's let's look over here. It's the monastery is called Ilinsky Monastery, and it dates to 1620, and it has the style of Byzantine and Russian style mixed together. It's very neat. There is a bell tower over there. Okay, I don't know if the gate is open. Let me check it. It looks like ladies are sleeping today. Oh, sorry, over here. Oh, okay. So unfortunately, not this time. But I want to show you something else that I haven't shown anyone before on the tours. And for this, we need to go down to the river. Um, Honestly, I didn't know of its existence myself for some time. So we'll see. In the meantime, if you guys have questions, I'm very happy to answer if I know anything. if I know that. Oh yeah, this one. I think that's a peacock. This ornament, it's a peacock. Look. Okay. No questions today. Okay, that's all right. Now we're approaching the main attraction of my hometown. It's the river bank and the river. And how can you tip me? Oh, that's a good question. I have a PayPal and I also have a Buy Me a Coffee, and um, it is Sveta Neil as my name. I use it for my PayPal and for my Buy Me a Coffee. I'll type it in right now. Uh, could be together like this. Like my channel name, everything is the same. And when I post this video, because we had good reception, so um, I'm happy to post it for other people to see. I'm going to put the links under the video, so you can do that if you are not confident that this is the right person. So, and maybe you can see that there are some people, walking, jogging, riding bicycles. So not everybody is asleep or partying in this town. And honestly, the sun is quite aggressive today. It used to, in the beginning of June, it was super hot. It was about 30 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. And then we had a dip with the cold. It was really cold for some time. And now it's back to being hot. So I don't know. I don't have the air conditioner, so I hope I'll survive this. I'll survive this madness. Some pretty flowers. Yeah. Oh my god, smells really nice. Okay, so this house, remember we were walking down the water piping street? This house um was the first place to take the water from the river and um, give it to people over here. And down there is, well, right now it's a cultural center and a center for artists, but before it used to be a steamboat station. And because my city is located on the river, um, a lot of people, used it as a point to stop by. Oh yeah. By the oh sorry, I wanted to tell you this interesting fact that for example, Fyodor Dostoevsky or Anton Chekhov visited my hometown, and they made remarks about it in their diaries or in their recollections, and they were saying things like, "Oh, it's so dirty. A horse could drown in the mud," or things like that. It was so funny for me to read it because right now it's a very clean place. So yeah, this is a steamboat ship station, and there was a steamboat factory, um, and now it's a place for artists. It hosts different shows, and there are restaurants. So quite a nice place. But a new place, a new monument that was built recently is a monument to the last emperor, Nicholas II. And it's because here was sort of the beginning of the end of the Russian Empire, because the name of the river is Tura, Tura, Tura River. And he was taken from St. Petersburg here, or probably with some stops. And first, the emperor, his wife, and his eldest daughter Maria came, and then the other kids with some of their help came as well. So they took this boat that was called Rus, and they sailed to Tobolsk. And in Tobolsk, they stayed for 8 months. And Tobolsk was a place that was very compassionate to them. And they were taken to Yekaterinburg, a place where the people were more revolutionary, and so they were killed in Yekaterinburg, which is also not very far from here, about 350 kilometers away. So this is a new monument. I think it was put here during COVID. So I don't know if there was ever like a big opening of this. Maybe never, but also very interesting because they used this ship, and that type of ship is the symbol of my hometown. So here they are, and they are right in front of the monastery. So you can see the bell tower over here, and these this is what it looks like from the other side. And you can imagine that the people living in this White House have very, very good views of this. So thank you so much for coming here today. I hope you enjoyed walking with me. And you can say thank you because I have PayPal and buy me a coffee, and I will put the links later, or you can use my name as the link. So I was very happy to see you. And if you can, if you want to say thank you in a different way, you can also post your pictures from this tour to our group. So more people would find about these tours and come and see them. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Okay. That's great, Jennifer. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.